All right, hello and welcome. How is everyone doing on what I hope is a fantastic September? September the 2nd. We are a scant 3 months away from the year ending. And
hard to believe.
Yeah, right? And surely we will get through the end of season 3 before the end of the year, right?
Maybe.
I mean, unforeseen difficulties notwithstanding, I want to say that we have just like 5 episodes left this season. Am I doing my mathing wrong?
I think it's more like 8.
Is it really like 8?
This is episode 14, is it not, of season 3?
It is. It is.
And there are 22.
Okay, you're right. Exactly 8. But still, that gives me like 4 weeks I think I can miss and still get this wrapped
Maybe
up
5.
by Christmas time.
Maybe 5.
Yeah. So hey, a couple things that I realized. No, good things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I saw Omni in the chat. Hey, Omni. A while back ago, we were talking about relationships in sci-fi movies or sci-fi series. And he had asked me a question about 7 of 9 and Chakotay. And he had posted a follow-up question, but I misunderstood it. And Omni, correct me if I get your basic question incorrect here again. But the question was, I didn't really like, obviously I didn't like the 7 and Rafi, the last 2 seconds of the entire season, and all of a sudden they're in a relationship. And it's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's been 0 hints about this. They have both 100% been attracted to men their whole lives. And now it's just like, oh, and by the way, they have hots for each other. Like, no, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. But then I also said, and not me saying he'll correct me, thank you. I also said I wasn't a fan of Chakotay in 7. And then we had also talked about how her and Harry Kim didn't make sense. It didn't work. Like, it was a funny thing in that she was fully willing to explore relationships with him, and he got intimidated by that and ran off. Her and the doctor didn't work. Obviously her and Tuvok wouldn't work. And so Omni was like, okay, Matt, there's just no pleasing you. What relationship would you approve of? And the answer to that is any of them I would have potentially been okay with. My actual complaint with her and Chakotay was that there was no build-up for it. And this is kind of one of those double-edged swords that you have in a long-running series, that you can't just make a snap change to a character. That they need to grow and they need to develop. But you can't just be like, bam, and here they are. It turns out that behind the scenes, we didn't show you anything, this growing relationship. And now they're totally head over heels in love with each other. It's like, oh, no, you don't get to do that. Not unless you have sufficiently planted the seeds of their secret behind the scenes relationship. And then all of a sudden you get that moment where it's like, oh, this recontextualizes everything I've been seeing. And then that's great. Yeah, and Thomas, he might be boycotting because this is the second point of clarification I'll get to. So that's my only contention. I would have potentially been fine with 7 of 9 dating the Doctor, Chakotay, Harry Kim, the guest star of the week. And that was something you used to do all the time in TNG and Voyager. All of them did it. They'd have the guest star of the week. Yeah. And if it was a girl, Riker would be the person they fell in love with. If it was a guy, Troy would be the guy, a girl that the guest star would fall in love with. And so there's nothing wrong with that because that was the whole point of the character. But if you're going to have a major change to 2 long-standing cast members, my only thing is you got to work for it. And I feel like they did a very decent job with Tom Paris and B'Elanna Torres. That
I agree with you.
Yeah, it grew and it felt natural, and they had
Balana Troy.
Yeah, Balana Troy. No, that's Sequest. Balana Troy.
Okay,
was
that's Sequest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say this also: I didn't like the relationship between Deanna Troy and Worf, because
that kind of came out of the blue too.
Yeah, they kind of sort of did a couple things where she was a surrogate mother figure for Alexander, and so they kind of put that in a little bit, but it was never anything beyond just being friendly. The same way that all the bridge crew was a surrogate father figure for Wesley.
Yeah, there was a little bit there. Nomni just pointed out in chat about parallels.
Yeah.
Where in a parallel universe they were together, and then he told her that.
Yeah, and ethics, fair. And there's also the episode, it's the one that ended with Troy leaving the bridge saying, "Hell hath no fury like that of a woman scorn." It was all in her mind, basically, and in her mind she had killed Worf at the last, but it turned out just to be a mind game thing.
Okay. I don't watch that one too often.
Yeah, I don't remember the name in there. Was it Latent
Image?
Images? Maybe? I don't remember. Like I said, there's a general plot I just laid out for you. So it was gently touched on, but not really done. And so for them to be in this secret big time relationship in the final episode, it was kind of like, didn't work for me. Sorry. And I didn't have an issue with Deanna Worf, except they didn't build up to it. Like, if they had built up to it, I would have been like, okay, this is where they're going. I see where they're going. But in the very last episode of the very last season, the series finale, to be like, oh, and by the way, they're a thing. It's like, nah.
Yeah, it's almost the same as Chakotay 7.
Yeah. Now, Omni's saying, but out of our crew, who else besides Chakotay could Seven have fallen for? I think Chakotay, to answer that question, I think Chakotay was a fine choice, but they didn't build up for it. That's my only complaint, that they tried to put in a relationship where it didn't exist. Now, if what they had done is in the future, you found out that they were a big thing, which you kind of did, but don't have anything at all right now. Maybe they're just starting to think about it right now. I've been like, okay, they're in the dating phase and they're going to progress to this. But instead they're like, oh, we are in such a serious relationship that 7 of 9 is emotionally becoming a wreck, thinking about how her death is going to affect Chakotay. Chakotay is unwilling to let go of her because of his deep, profound love for her. I didn't buy it.
Omni says, "I, the Beholder," was the TNG episode where Troy hallucinates in the nacelle.
Is that the one where she eventually sees herself killing Worf? Because I remember that one. There was a psychic guy who died in there, who was murdered by his friend when he found out the girl he liked and his best friend were having a behind-the-scenes relationship on him. And his psychic imprint got splattered against the nacelle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I forget if that ended with her almost killing Worf or actually killing him. I thought it was more... I will try to look and see if that's the episode I'm thinking of at some point this week.
I think it is.
Unfortunately, John doesn't get a jump on until much later, but he and his encyclopedic knowledge of all things Trek.
Tell me about it. Omni's right there.
It might be Eye of the Beholder. I just thought it was a later... I mean, what season was Eye of the Beholder? I thought it was a later season one.
Season 1?
Eye of the Beholder was season 1?
No, it was season 7, late season 7.
Oh well, that might have been it then. And no idea what that was about.
Yeah, that definitely is the episode you're thinking of.
All right. Thank you very much, Omni. Eye of the Beholder. Well done. So, yeah. Anyway, the point is,
this is the actual dialogue. Worf says, "Counselor, when I pulled you from the plasma stream, you seemed surprised I was alive. He says, well, actually, in my hallucination, you were killed. May I ask by whom? Well, you know what they say, Mr. Worf. Hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned.
There we are.
So, yep, that's the episode.
All right. Well, well done. Hats off to y'all that y'all could take my very inane ramblings of a general idea of a TNG episode and actually figure it out. Mazel tov. And I'm also we have a smart listening audience. They do, and the smartest thing about them is that they can somehow understand Matt. That's a fine art. A learned dialect. Because, man, I thought for sure that the Latent Image episode was... I didn't think it was season 1. That's why I was like, really? Season 1? But I thought it was maybe season 4.
No, that isn't season 1.
Oh, yeah. Like, the production quality and everything is much higher than season 1 had in its bucket. But, by season 2 had a lot of great episodes.
Latent Image was season 5.
Okay.
Of Voyager.
And then I feel like season 3, they really started to hit their stride.
Yeah.
And then, just off the cuff feelings, I feel like season 4 and 5 had some of my all-time favorite TNG episodes.
You're mixing your TNG and Voyager.
Maybe so.
Latent Image was Voyager, season 5.
Oh, what was the TNG one?
Eye of the Beholder.
Eye of the Beholder. Okay.
Josh has fallen asleep. He's taken Thomas's place, and you mentioned Thomas earlier.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the second thing. So, I have an ongoing bet with Thomas, and there was some timing between my comments and his chat coming in that apparently led to some confusion. So let me set the record straight about what my ongoing bet is. And this is about the White Star. So here, my prediction is that at some point we're going to see the White Star severely damaged, and the Technomages are going to come and give it an upgrade. And I specifically think that this is going to happen in the season 5 of Babylon 5. And my thought process here is that the way you build up a ship like this is you introduce it, you let it have a lot of great victories, and you really get to see how powerful it is. And we're going to see that it's already defeated 2 Shadow Spider ships basically on its own. And it's not that it's powerful enough really to do it, but because of how powerful it is and how intelligent Sheridan is, he has been able to pull off these wins in impossible situations. So you're going to keep building up how powerful the ship is, and then you're going to just totally decimate it. It's going to be, they'll win, but it will be a Pyrrhic victory in which you win the battle, but you lose the war sort of situation. And it's just be completely destroyed. And that's when we're going to see the Technomages come in and fix things up. So since they need to have all those victories, it's got to be late in the series for this to happen. It's going to be kind of that darkest moment thing where everything's comes down to the lowest point with this defeat, and then you get to see here comes the dawn as the ship is brought back. So my prediction and the bet I made with Thomas is that if that does not happen in season 5, I will do a live a virtual pub stream. And I expanded this even. So I'm like, it's not just if it doesn't happen by the end of season 5, because that means it could happen in season 3, season 4, any point in season 5. I said, no. I am specifically saying season 5 or bust. So if it happens in season 3 or season 4, Thomas wins the bet. It's only if it happens in season 5 that I win the bet.
And the timing issue, if you go back to the last stream, it was around the 2-hour, 16-minute mark when you started talking about this. And you had said the end of the season. and I thought you meant series. So I specifically asked you this season or another season, and you specifically said season 5. Then about 15 seconds after that, Thomas's comment came in about the bet. Mm-hmm. And he was thinking you meant season 3.
Yes. And
so your clarification was before his comment was in the chat.
Yeah. And so we were talking about this today, and so he's like, well, then I'm going to boycott. Yeah, good nature. He's not being petulant. This is good nature ribbing on me. So just providing clarification for when he jumps in later, we have video record of me clarifying what the bet was. Texas is asking, doesn't Thomas knows what happens? Quite possibly. And what if we both lose? Joel, if we both lose, then he wins. So it has to happen in season 5 for me to win the bet. If it doesn't happen at all, or if it happens in season 4 or 3, then he wins by default. So that's the 2 points of clarification there. Can I define severely damaged? Ooh,
that's a good question. Good clarifying question.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, we're talking like Voyager at the end of Year of Hell, before time gets reset. So this is one of those things where it's like, we're pretty sure we're going to have to scuttle it. If you get in one more battle, surely we're going to lose. Like, you know, one of these things where surely a stiff solar wind is going to knock this ship to pieces at that point.
Omni wants to know, how many pieces does the ship need to be in?
Okay, you're going to make this bet way too specific for me to even get an ability to win. I'm assuming that it's effectively in one piece. None of this, hey, the runabout was blasted into a million pieces, but Voyager picked up all the pieces and welded it back together, so we still have 2 runabouts. No. I'm assuming this is still one ship. Equinox damaged? Yeah, you know, kind of like that. Can I get on that action? No. No. That's the end of the bet.
Exactly, K. Roberts. Reflection, surprise, terror for the future.
The more people who want to get in on this bet, the worse I'm feeling about the chances of me winning it are.
Omni says, okay, he'll check in with you on that soon.
We mention it every week. That
we do.
I have this ongoing prediction.
We do.
But hey, speaking of predictions, how about we just jump right in here? What was my prediction for this episode?
You sure you want to do that now? It's only 20 minutes in.
Yeah, you know, let's roll these dice. Hey, just because we're talking predictions doesn't mean we're actually getting started anytime soon.
Okay. Well, I see you put the link to SciTube in the chat. Excellent. So your prediction, Ships of Tears, Centauri slaver ship. They don't call it that. It's going to be like a labor transport ship that they will call it. Like we had in history with slaves packed into small ships. The ship stops at Babylon 5. Jakar wants all the Narn that are on it released. Sheridan wants to release them, but legally they can't board the ship. So they have to figure out a way to help them without starting a war with the Centauri. Dr. Franklin is going to be heavily involved, perhaps trying to deal with sickness on the ship. Future guest, the White Star becomes severely, if I can talk, damaged by being outclassed, and they can reach out to the technomages to upgrade the White Star. Also, by saying that there are 3 opportunities for Londo to overcome his fate implies that 2 of them he will fail at. The 3rd one is where he will redeem himself. And is Morgan Le Fay from a late delivery from Avalon, Lita, Alexander, or Buster Bester?
Buster Bester.
Buster?
I'd forgotten about that discussion. That still has my creative juices flowing just on what that could possibly be. I didn't watch last week's again yet. I was a week behind.
I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, I watched the previous week's, like the very next day, but then I didn't get a chance to watch the next episode, which was last week's episode. But I really want to go back and listen to that exchange again. And it's hard because, like I said, there's so many variations of the Arthurian mythos. And so it's hard to know, is he going off the T.H. White version, which is kind of an amalgamation of some of the more popular ones? Is he going off of some obscure one? Is he just making up his own? We don't know. And I'm so curious to see how that works out. Much like I'm curious to know how Veer's going to become emperor.
Yes.
Which I did have to laugh.
Before or after Londo?
Right? I did have to laugh. I rewatched, when I was rewatching the one from 2 weeks ago, which was the one where Veer gets a wife. Sick Veer.
Sick transit Veer.
Yeah, sick transit Veer. I don't know. I lost my train of thought trying to remember what the Latin was. I really enjoyed it, going through it again. And it's a funny episode. Rats. It's on the tip of my brain. That's twice now. Last week I had the same sort of brain hiccup happen in the middle of a sentence. Hopefully that doesn't keep going.
Wasn't it something like "so passes the man"?
It is, which was a very...
Yeah.
I still enjoy that play on words that they did. But hey, let's go ahead and kind of move toward doing this. Yeah, Kay Roberts, he's still expecting Kiefer's to show back up. We'll find out. Yeah, take
Kiefer
some
or
stems.
Keffer?
Kiefer. I pronounce it Kiefer.
Okay.
And I'm actually... Okay, so... Excuse me. I am going to make a slight change to how I set up these streams. One of the things I've been doing when I set it up is I put in the guest stars in the tag area. I'm going to stop doing that before the stream because twice now I've been so excited to see one name come into the stream on the guest star list. And I'm like, oh, if only I didn't know that until I saw it in the episode. So
you know.
So I know.
You know.
And it spoils it a little bit, you know? Yeah,
it
Bester.
Does. Bester, Buster. Buster, Bester.
So I'm going to change that. I'm going to make it such that I am 100% blind going into this. I'll know the episode title, but I'll put in the tags afterwards. And that way it'll be a true coming in blind. And that way I get to be excited at that moment, first time, when I either see him appear or see him on the guest star as it scrolls by there. So I'm excited about this. Josh is saying, want to bet 2 episodes a week if you get your predictions so wrong. You're not in the same galaxy. No, I don't. I think I'd lose most weeks if that was the case. I'd be in debt. They'd have to start making Babylon 5 again just to cover my losses for how in the hole I'd get. You thought the guest star was always Bubba Joe Bob Briggs? No, they have different names in there. So
don't know a Bubba Joe Bob Briggs.
Bring this guy up. And hopefully at this point, you are headed toward the screening room. So if you're new here for the first time, welcome. Here's the way we do this. This is not a way to be able to watch the entire episode right here on YouTube. If you're coming here for that, I'm sorry. That's not what's going to happen, but I hope you stick around anyway. I'd like to think we do a pretty fun thing here. But it's just going to be a live commentary. And there's a pinned link up there. You can click on it. It brings you to the screening room. And what that does is it syncs up all of our watch times together so that whatever I'm talking about, if I'm actually on subject, will be what's on the screen, ideally, within plus or minus a couple seconds, provided there's no technical issues going on, which, hey, there are, and we roll with them. If you're here in the future and you've come to the stream and you're like, oh, I'm so upset I can't watch this. Hey, I got great news for you, my friend. You can watch it. You can go to Roku TV. They have it for free. And you can go to Tubi TV, and they also have it for free with ads. So you got to watch commercials. Sorry. But you can watch it for free. And I think with Tubi, you don't even have to set up an account, I want to say.
You don't?
Just go there and watch it. Or if you are an Amazon Prime member, you can watch it for free as well. Again, with ads, unless you pay the extra, I don't know, $5 a month, I think it is, to watch Prime without ads. Either way.
At the time of this recording.
Yeah, at the time of this recording. Very important disclaimer.
Who knows next month?
But hey, do you know what's really great? Physical media. If you just go out and buy the physical media, you never have to worry about all of a sudden your watching experience including ads, or all of a sudden you having to pay $5, $10, $15, whatever they randomly decide this year, dollars a month to not get ads. You know, like we're going back to 1 million cable services. Not that I have strong feelings about it or anything.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. But right now you're going to say it is that what you're about to drop?
What, the price?
Yeah.
Oh, on Amazon? It's $64.99 for the Blu-rays right now on Amazon.
So hopefully if you don't own it and you'd like to, hopefully you're watching this, this week so that you can go and grab it, because $64 for 5 seasons, you're looking at a little over $12 a season. And it's an excellent series. So go support them. And this is something I've said a couple times, and I will stand by this so firmly, hopefully till I die. There is no point, in my opinion, of paying for streaming services anymore. If you want to watch something, it is more financially worthwhile for you to spend the money you would have paid to have a Netflix and a Hulu and a Disney Plus and just buy the physical media yourself. And then you have it forever. You just like, hey, you know what?
That's true.
This month, I'm going to buy Bluey for my kids. And it's going to be all 3 seasons of Bluey. And I will come out ahead versus paying for whatever Disney charges now. Or I'm going to buy, King of the Hill. Apparently they're making new episodes of King of the Hill. I don't need to stream it. Go buy the physical media. I don't know.
Now that only works if they put it on the physical media.
That's true.
Yeah, not everything is. One thing I'd love to have on physical media is the Orville season 3.
It's
not available
that yet.
And they don't have the Orville at all on Blu-ray. The first just 2 seasons are available on DVD only.
What? I am honestly shocked at this news.
I am as well. I can't believe they've not released that. But they have not.
And see, this is what I was saying. I make no guarantees that we were actually about to get started. Now you just, now I'm hot under my collar about this news. It is so ridiculous to me that companies make piracy a better option than buying their content. And this is exactly an instance where piracy offers a better value than their service does. And that's stupid. That's them wasting money. And this is something I get upset about with Netflix too. Like Netflix, you pay for the high definition service plan, and it turns out that doesn't work on your phone. It doesn't work on your browser. It only works on Apple TVs and Android whatevers and Amazon, maybe Amazon Fire Sticks. I don't know. But they limit it. And then once they do give you the 4K, they still compress the bit rate so that you're not getting the true 4K quality, because they're having to stream to so many people and it's not financially worth it. But if you just buy the Blu-ray, or if you pirate it, the people who figure out how to pirate this nonsense get the true Blu-ray 4K high bit rate. Like they have figured out the tricks to do to get the high quality. So when I can go and pirate it for better quality than I can by paying the high price for the highest tier of your service, you have messed up.
Sorry, I'm just chuckling at Josh Street. Says Zathras starting the whole go to blank to watch along after the stream ends, to only for Zathras to get sidetracked. Sad face.
Sorry, we got me off on that. I can't believe that the Orville one. I can't. It's hard enough to believe that they had as much problems they had getting a third season. When it was such a tremendously popular show, and then that they only got that one season.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then they're like, well, it's like they're almost resentful that people liked it. Like, how dare you like classic good sci-fi? We're so mad at you that you're not liking our, STD new Trek stuff. What do you mean you don't like K-pop Klingons? Well, I don't like K-pop Klingons.
You just had to mention that. Omni's going to go off and chat now.
Award-winning Star Trek Discovery or Strange New Worlds. Yes.
Hashtag groundbreaking.
Hashtag groundbreaking. So let's watch some great sci-fi. What do you say?
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
So hopefully you're in the screening room. If not, surely you got your physical media queued up, or you're on Tubi or Prime or whatever you're watching this on, and you're just ready for that countdown. And thank you, Alyssa Anderson, for subscribing. I'm sure it was my physical media rant that you're like, you know what? This guy is throwing some truth. I am here for it. But hey, you subscribed at a great time. Let's actually jump into this. And always, always, always let me know if I have messed up my audio and there is sound coming through, because there shouldn't be, because I don't want to get in trouble. And, I have yet to have one of these claimed, one of the Babylon 5 claims. So I'm going to keep that going. I think that they appreciate that every week I keep telling y'all to go and buy the physical media. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. The best sort of advertising you get is genuine people who just like your product telling other people. And I will continue to do that as long as I honestly believe it. But let's say you're on your phone or something. We got some clips once every 7 seconds, or 9 seconds, excuse me. Still image right below. You know the drill. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll give you a quick 3 countdown, and then we can all hit the play button. So fingers crossed there's no technical difficulties. 3, 2, 1. Hit that play button, everyone. Okay, initial looks fine. And yes, Josh, I'm still banned from selling on the Amazon links. And I'm not banned from it. I just never get it right, because I always try to give details about it, and apparently you're not allowed to give details about it. And apparently, ISN is back up. And they're back on the air, but it's someone different than last time.
Oh, you noticed.
Oh, it was a voice. Immediate difference.
Got it.
Because we both know I would not... I have no idea if this is a different lady just by looking at her face.
True.
And they are immediately kicking off with a lie. So a couple of weeks ago, maybe more than a couple of weeks ago, by Babylon standards, not by mine, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of episodes ago, the ISN headquarters were raided by the Earth Defense Forces, because the guy came out and he started to say, here's exactly what's going on. And they wanted to suppress the news.
It should have been a little faster to get that news out, because they didn't get very much out.
Yeah, not all. And so as soon as they've gotten back, at first everyone's like, hey, this is great. First sign of good news in such a long time. And it is 100% propaganda. She's talking about how it wasn't Earth Defense Forces who raided it. It was someone else. That they want to talk about the immensely popular martial law that's been enacted.
That's eliminated almost all crime.
Oh. But it's just pure propaganda. And of course, everyone's like, "Oh, the captain's gonna, flip his top when he sees this." But fortunately, he's out testing out the new Thunderbolts. Apparently,
Yes.
Brandon Niels wants to know, where are we up to in the episode? We are at 2 minutes 34 seconds in. Make sure Drawl doesn't shoot you. Stay out of the planet's atmosphere.
I'm sure Drawl knows what's going on.
But the Thunderbolts are the first Star Fury designed for planetary atmosphere.
Yep.
And it's Bester. And so, interestingly... Oh,
Buster.
Excuse me. Yes, Buster. And Alyssa, if you are here, a little fun fact: I'm really bad with names and faces. I'm face blind, largely, and really bad with names. And so once I make a mistake on a name, it is a tradition that I run with that name. So, Bester becomes Buster. Dolores is now Delin. There's other ones, they'll come up. Brandon Neal, is the pinned comment not there? Or is it that you can't join us in the screening room and you need to get your own media up? So we are, at this moment, which is probably about a six-ish second delay for you, we are in the middle of the credits. Just saw Bill Mummy. And yes, I even forget the new name, and I use the real name. It is a wonderful thing trying to keep up with me. So Buster is there, and he's saying, "Yes, I can hear you," because the captain was trying to ping him. He's saying, "Yes, I can hear you, but get a little bit closer. We need to talk." And I'm not sure if, at this point, if he's thinking that the captain would never get this close if he knew it was Buster, or is he trying to lure him into a trap, or is he wanting to initiate short-range communications so he can't be eavesdropped? And he goes, "What? Bester?" Which, sometimes, little production mistakes happen. You gotta roll with it.
Yeah, Now, that reflection is being created in real time by an LCD projector.
Okay.
Which I found was quite interesting.
So I am curious if Buster is if he's hoping to, if maybe he's not a big fan of what's going on in Earth government right now. And Sheridan's saying, give me one good reason why I shouldn't just tell Babylon 5 to shoot you down right now. And Buster says, "Well, if you kill me now, you'll never know what brought me out here."
Oh, not B5. He was going to...
I'm thinking it over.
Not getting a buffer, Texas.
Thankfully, today it's good on my end.
It's good here.
Several people buffering. Is it buffering in the screening room or buffering on YouTube? If it's in the screening room, try doing a complete refresh. Sometimes that fixes things. Otherwise, I guess you're experiencing what I had last week.
They're saying YouTube is buffering.
Okay.
I'm not looking at the YouTube stream, so.
Let's see. It's looking good on my end. Oops.
Ooh.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence saying YouTube.
YouTube might be having some trouble. Maybe we need the Techno Mages to upgrade YouTube.
I was having some problems on YouTube earlier this evening for their shorts.
Look at that smug smile on his face.
Now, interestingly, they did not. I have a good connection. YouTube screening room is saying excellent connection. It is just YouTube itself that's having problems.
Oh. Can't drug him up this time.
So they're trying to decide what to do with Buster. Do they leave him locked up forever, which Ivanova is okay with doing? And Ivanova is a telepath herself. A very low level, she believes.
Very low, yes.
And so, Ivanova's like, "You're not going to do this to me, are you?" And Sheridan's plan is that if Buster's going to scan someone, he's surely going to scan the first person who walks in. And so, while she won't be able to block him, she'll at least be able to sense if he is scanning. And if he does it, then they're just going to keep him in the brig.
I'm a little surprised they're not going with the Minbari telepaths on this.
Yeah. And so they're ready to go, but she says, "Hey, before we do this, you need to know we got a problem with Jakar." Because Jakar is frustrated that he has approached Sheridan. He's actually approached a couple of them at a couple different points, but Sheridan most recently, saying that he wants in on the action. He's aware that there's something bigger going on, and he wants to be a part of it. And they are still keeping him at arm's length for one reason or another.
Despite all his help.
Yeah.
With the Narns protecting the station.
And he's saying that they owe him at this point. the Minbari Telepath Union wanted a raise, but they had to enact the Rush Act to put a stop to that.
Ooh. Ooh.
And he went too far with that comment.
Some people think that that's real blood, that she drew blood when she hit him.
It would certainly make for a fun behind-the-scenes fact.
Yeah, I could not find any collaborating evidence of that through the Usenets.
So Buster is pointing out that, well, first of all, the thing that got him slapped was that he'd never noticed that Ivanova has her mother's eyes. And she slapped him for that because the core, I don't have a better phrase for it than mentally castrated her mom. They put her on medicine to keep her drugged up so that she couldn't use her latent telepathic abilities.
The sleepers. Now, I don't know if you caught it. He mentioned the shadows. He knows that the shadows are helping Clark.
Yes. That
Okay.
he says he doesn't know who's doing it, but Clark is not the one in power. There's someone behind the scenes.
And he only knows them by the name of Shadows.
I did miss him actually drop the name Shadows. Ooh. So Buster is very much a Earth first person. That he's clearly not a fan of the way the administration is doing what they're doing, but he just made this comment about how he wants humanity on top, and humanity can't be on top if some alien race is behind the scenes doing all this. So he is quite equally anti-alien.
Well, he wants his telepaths to be on top. And these shadows are preventing that.
Josh, I did not catch that he said the shadows are taking telepaths.
Did he say that, Josh? Yes, psychics. Sorry, Omni. Psychics.
The Psychic Friend Network is upset that their members are being taken. So I like the way they opened the scene where you saw Sheridan talking to someone and they kept his dialogue vague enough where it sounded like he was possibly talking to Jakar. But then as they swung around, you saw that he was actually talking to Dolores, and they're dealing with the problem of how do they break to Jakar the fact that they were willing to let Narn fall for the greater good. And Delenn says, we don't have to do it. I will do this. I will shoulder the responsibility for this decision. Sorry, I was enjoying the music they're doing with the background. They kind of started off with an almost Patton sort of drum solo, the ta 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 sort of.
How do you know this? I'm a telepath. Work it out.
So there's a supply ship that Buster wants them to stop because he believes that doing so would greatly diminish these shadow people from being able to interfere or whatever their plan is going on. He thinks that this would interfere with their plan.
Supposedly there are weapon supplies on this ship.
and yes, I agree, K. Roberts. Koenig is so good for this role.
Dialogue is just sparkling.
And I like also that he's not just xenophobic. He's not just humans first. As someone else was pointing that he is psychics first. Or telepaths first.
Definitely.
And he makes a comment here
about
about
there's the White Star.
Oh, hey. He was talking about how telepaths can't be on the front line. They are not an expendable resource. Mundanes are. And Garibaldi makes a comment, that'd be us. Yeah, Omni, no techno mages, White Star still in one piece. It's always interesting the pejoratives that sci-fi writers try to come up with in their series. Like Harry Potter had the Muggles. This one has mundanes. And it's interesting to me because the things they come up with are never as biting as the pejoratives that naturally form, organically come about. Like, have you heard the new pejorative for AI? The clankers. Captain Chekhov. No, Admiral Chekhov.
I'm sorry. I was listening to the dialogue. What was your question?
Oh, have you heard the pejorative that people are using for AI?
AI? No.
ChatGPT.
No.
They call them clankers. Like, oh,
No,
that
I haven't
clanker
heard that
can't
one.
add 2 + 2 consistently.
Wow. No, I hadn't heard that.
But an Admiral Buster, he could sense that they were here. But he also needs to get out of the captain's chair.
Walter Koenig really liked sitting in the chair on the White Star because Chekhov didn't get to sit in the captain's chair very often. And the production crew actually had a hard time getting him to get out of the chair.
So what she's doing right now is, and this is a great callback, that at the beginning of season 2, I want to say, Jakar tried to sound the alarm. Maybe it's just season 3. Jakar tried to sound the alarm, and he opened up the book of Jaquan. Jaquan?
Jaquan.
Jaquan. And he's like, hey, here's an exact picture of these ships. And he went to the council and he tried to get it stopped. He tried to get his people to stop an attack because he knew that they're walking into a trap. He couldn't stop anything. And Dolores is revealing that she could have spoken up at that time and confirmed what he was saying. And maybe if she had done that, the two of them working together could have brought awareness and maybe have changed what actually happened. And she's trying to give some justification that had she stood up at that time, that it would have revealed to the shadow people that they were aware of their presence, and then they would have just come in full force. And their best hope right now is the fact that the shadows are not coming out into the open, that they're still trying to work in the background. Because
both these actors, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Both these actors, they really emoted emotion in this scene. You can tell it in their faces. This was Mira Furlan's one of her best scenes, she said. One of her favorite scenes in the whole series.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah, they both are.
So she was explaining that the reason why she had to stay silent is because with the Centauri, yes, it is horrible and they are being abusive and evil, but with the Shadow Spiders, there is nothing. You would be completely wiped out. No one would be left. And at least there's hope right now with the Centauri. And this is another fantastic moment from Jakar where I forget what episode it was, but there's an episode where he thought that he was about to get the support of the Earth Alliance, and instead they talked about how all they can do is work in secret behind the scenes, getting some people out here and there, and you see how it's just like a dagger to his heart, but he forces himself to smile and say thank you, and then he walks in the hallway and he just lets his emotions out, that this is so not what he was hoping for, and how betrayed he feels. And he's giving that same sort of emotion right now, that he's hurt, but he also understands the necessity for why it was done. And she's saying, perhaps someday when this is all over, you'll find it in your heart to forgive me. And he says, perhaps, but not today.
Which was the perfect response to that.
He's gotten quite a few good responses for things like that. Like when Veer tried to apologize, and his response was, can you apologize to those who have died? And Veer says, no. And he says, well, then neither can I forgive you. And so this looked like it was an actual, like, small shadow spider ship?
Yes, there were scout ships.
A shadow vessel. A shadow scout vessel. And it is
Or
backing
fighter.
off. So the mothership came, and it backed off. What up with that?
Yeah.
Is it because of Buster?
Or did they not want to destroy their weapon supplies, supposedly on the ship? By mistake.
And Buster is quite... He seems quite surprised as well. And I like how Lanier, when there's like, why are they backing off? And Lanier goes, we could pursue and ask? And he goes, no. And Sheridan says, what's on that? And Buster says, weapon supplies. That's all I was told.
Ooh.
So now we're seeing that their weapon supplies are people with the little Psi-Core symbol there on the side of the stasis chamber.
More psychics?
Have they been assimilated on me? And so they pull back the sheet and they say, what's wrong with him? And they're saying that apparently it took his own life rather than persist with what's happened to it. So I'm assuming that these are all telepaths from different races. And it seems like maybe they're trying to augment the telepaths. So, interesting thought exercise. And I think this might be the wrong time to talk about it, but yeah, we'll talk about this later if I can remember. Because it's extremely off subject. And so Sheridan, he's furious. He says, you knew they were members of the Psi-Corps. Why didn't you say anything? And Buster responds with, well, I knew you weren't sympathetic to the Corps, and I was concerned that if you knew, you wouldn't have helped. And he's saying, so he's down in MedLab 1. He's going to try and bring one of them out of stasis to see if they can figure out what was being done to him and why anyone would try and describe telepaths as components of a weapon system, which I can think of a couple good ideas why, and I definitely would not want to be waking them up, because I could see that going very poorly. Is that Talia? Not Talia, the first one?
Lita?
Lita, is that Lita?
No, that is not Lita.
And they really should have had Buster down there. And they're saying that someone definitely messed with wetware. And that's a phrase we've heard in the past, I want to say.
Oh, uh-oh.
It skipped a little bit there. Come on, don't mess up.
That's the only skip. A blip.
So he recognizes this bracelet on her and says she's a blip, that she's someone who neither joined the Corps nor went through the stealing, but she ran. But she was designated as P11 or P12 based on the serial number. And he stops in the middle of a sentence and leans in. There's something unusual about what he just saw on that bracelet. He said, I need to see her. And Franklin's saying she's going to be out for several hours, and he says, that's too long. I have to see her now. And I want to say we've heard of wetware in the past. In one of the season 1 episodes, there was an episode where one of Franklin's old teachers came in, and his bodyguard was those people are new. But his bodyguard got like half assimilated with a wetware technology. But as she screams out, her scream echoes across space, it appears. And we zoom in on the shadow spiders. But as she was asleep there, in her dreams, she saw some sort of alien creature experimenting on her. And it seemed like without painkillers. Yeah, not a fan of the dentist chairs. But she has really done a number to MedLab 1. Wires look pulled out of the wall. Oh, she's entangled in the wires. She really is assimilated.
I watched 2 podcasts, or listened to 2 podcasts, prepare for our streams, and both podcasts mentioned she looked like the Borg Queen in that scene.
I don't think she was smiling there. She just has her mouth kind of awkwardly held open with crazy eyes. And she's
she
saying,
called
Alfred,
him out by name.
Alfred, help me. But when he tries to get close, she shoots lightning from her hands. So she's a Borg Jedi? Sith? Borg Sith?
Something like that.
Yeah, and Garibaldi gets a call in his comms that they're getting a serious energy surge in MedLab 1. They're like, yeah, no kidding. We got a telepath shooting lightning bolts. And Buster continues to be perplexed. He goes, there's no reason for her to be doing this. Why is she doing this? And Garibaldi gets the idea that it might be the Psi-Core symbol. And yeah, he throws the badge out there and she zaps it. And she says, the machine says, kill to protect.
Good question, Franklin.
Yeah, and Ami is saying that the quote she was saying is, the machine says kill to protect. The sign hurts us. We cannot hear the machine. And she's saying, what have they done to me? Al, what have they done to me? And then he gets a mental burst of what's going on. And we see a person in the center of one of the Shadow Spider ships, like just the outline, which is a callback to a couple episodes, several episodes back now. A Psi-Corps member tried to merge with the Shadow ship, and it went just crazy, went out of control. And Sheridan is pointing out, like, it seems like you knew each other. And he says, yes, I recognize her name on the ID. And she's carrying his child. That he loves her. And he's saying that this was a genetic pairing arranged by the Corps. That she's a P11, P12, he's a P11, P12, maybe higher.
Genetic pairing with his wife, not her.
Oh. And so he's saying that she was supposed to just be another blip assigned to the re-education center. So whenever they capture one of these runaways, they'd send to be re-educated. And he kind of took on a Gul Dukat and Kira's mom relationship with this girl, looking for any excuse to be with her, gave her better quarters. And somewhere along the lines, he realized he was in love with her.
Question is, does she love him? Now, she did call out to him, asking for his help.
And Ivanova says, why didn't you help her get out? And goes, because I didn't have that kind of authority. And he says, when he found out she was carrying his child, he begged her to go on the sleepers or join the Corps so that the two of them could be together, but she refused. And so Buster was asking how much she know about the Shadow ships. And they go, just that they need an organic component. And then, all the dominoes are falling together. That's why they were calling them weapon components. And they don't know if they can help her, though Buster is asking them for help. Because the technology plugged into her brain is beyond what they've ever seen before. And Buster's saying that she's the only thing he has, the only thing that he actually cares about. And that this promise he made to her to keep her safe is the only promise he's ever made that actually means anything to him. And that their war is now his war. We'll see. And Delin is saying, or Dolores, excuse me, is saying that Jakar has picked a most auspicious day for joining the War Council. That apparently there's been some new person to join their side. Which I still have some lingering questions about why the Narn specifically have no telepaths in any of their race. And I speculated a while back ago that it's some form of protection against the shadow spiders.
And this is brand new set here. We just saw it.
Yeah.
The war room. And they built that where the casino set was.
Oh. Okay.
Which we haven't seen this season.
And Ivana was saying that she's never trusted a Klingon and she never will.
Klingon?
Something like that.
Okay.
And Jared Baldy is looking through the Book of Jaquan.
You just asked a question a minute ago, so hold that question just for a minute.
Yeah. What was the question?
I think it'll become evident here in a minute.
Oh, yeah, about the Narn not having psychic abilities. And this was something I had speculated a while back ago. That we found out that the shadow spiders were on the Narn home world, and for some reason left. So Garibaldi, go ahead.
I like Garibaldi's little translator computer.
Yeah. A couple episodes back, I said that about everything. It could have been 20 episodes. I don't know. Garibaldi was lamenting that there's no version of the Book of Jaquan in English. Hello, 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 and hello. But Jakar was commenting that you have to read it in the original language.
Very disrespectful.
But it's right here. It's right here. Do not thump the Book of Jaquan.
It's disrespectful.
Oh, once upon a time there were Narn telepaths. But they were all wiped out. And that they were all wiped out 1,000 years ago, which just so happens to be the last time the shadow spiders were on the move. And they're saying that the spirit of darkness walked across the land and it screamed in the minds of the dreamwalkers. A mind walker, excuse me. Until they were driven out, until the shadow was driven out by Jaquan and the last of the mind walkers. I'm not sure if I'm following their logic here. That the telepaths can stop the shadow ships?
Yes.
And that's why
Go ahead.
And that's why the shadows are no longer hiding anymore. They are on the move. Oh, and that's the end of the episode. All
That's
right.
the end of the episode.
Okay. Well. Okay, so help me walk through their logic here, because I'm not 100% sure I followed it. They need telepaths to pilot their ships, or they want to wipe out telepaths because they're the only thing that can stop their ships, or both?
Well, telepaths can stop their ships. That's what happened on Narn 1,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The remaining telepaths, they got rid of the shadows 1,000 years ago from Narn, the remaining ones, the ones that weren't wiped out. The idea is that telepaths can stop the shadow ships. The shadows, in combating telepaths stopping their ships, or putting telepaths as the pilots of their ships, a kind of counterbalance, if you will.
Okay.
So that's why they wanted the Teeps from Earth.
So this is kind of a work in progress on their part. They're thinking that they can somehow tame the telepaths to use them in their ships as a natural defense against their greatest threat.
You got it. And you're right, Joel. It doesn't stop the shadow ships. It slows them down. At least that's the working theory.
Okay. And yeah, they recognize that Buster was aboard their ship, and that was why they backed off.
Very powerful telepath as well. A P12. He's a P12. The very high end of the scale.
It's not that the Narn weeded out their telepaths as a defense mechanism against the shadow spiders. It's that the telepaths all died, or all the strongest telepaths all died off combating the shadow spiders.
Those that could reproduce were killed.
And what latent genes remain haven't been able to produce any sort of telepath of sufficient strength.
Got it.
All right. I'll give me a half on that one. Wow. That's one prediction. Not about the episode. I scored a 0 tonight. Absolute 0.
Yeah.
But that was a prediction I made a long time ago about why there were no telepaths among the Narn. So I'm pat on the back for that one. Well done, me. Book of Jaquan from Amazon going to Matthew's house. Yeah, that's why I do these streams. It's been revealed. I'm an insider with Amazon, and they have promised me a Book of Jaquan in the original Narn. I might even add.
Wow. Are you sure you can read that?
It's more about the historic value of it.
Okay. Do you think you can get a second copy and maybe send it to me?
I'll see what I can arrange. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, with the translator machine. Just
right.
It.
Do not thump the Book of Jaquan. It's disrespectful.
It's actually the Book of Juan. It is interesting that Garibaldi tried to give it back to Jakar at one point, and Jakar politely refused it, saying that he didn't need any more, that he's had his own revelation, that he's writing his own book. But he is still very distraught at seeing Garibaldi thump the Book of Jaquan, which is a bit of a running gag with two of them, I want to say. Like, he said this before, right? Or was this the first time?
I think that's the first time he's said that.
I thought when Garibaldi first got it, he like patted her or something. And
I don't remember that.
You've just said it in... Okay, I'm only saying they said it in chat, so maybe that's why I have such strong memories of it in the past.
We have said it several times, so I'll admit to that. And Omni says he's never said it before. Jakar, that is. But yeah, I think you've just seen us saying it in the chats. Very quotable line.
It is. It is. It should be an ongoing gag. Like every time the two of them are together and the Book of Jaquan is around, Garibaldi should make some sort of tapping or patting that visibly distresses Jakar. That it would have been funny. Hey John, how you doing?
I think it would have wore out its welcome after a few times, but hey John.
Well, it wouldn't be every time Garibaldi and Jakar saw each other. It would just be when they were together and the Book of Jakar was there. So, I mean, it would be all 2 times so far.
Book of Jaquan, you mean?
I do. The Book of... There's too many jizz in that race. Yeah, time to restart the episode. John's here.
Yeah. Start it for real this time, Matthew.
Hey, at least YouTube finally got over its stuttering, whatever was going on there.
Well, that's good.
At least it did for me. Hopefully it did for y'all. But hey, what did you think of the episode?
What can I say? Buster was here.
Buster was here.
He is just fantastic in the role. Sparkling dialogue. Just a great episode. And to top it all off, you have the scene between Dolores and Jakar. Top acting there. Just fabulous. This show has such great acting. And you wouldn't probably say that after seeing maybe a couple episodes from season 1, because it was a little shaky at times, and I'm boring you.
No, you're definitely not.
But we're starting to fill in some cracks here. We get the story of Narn and why it lost its telepaths, what happened 1,000 years ago. Garibaldi is the one that fills in the gaps there. And we get an explanation of maybe a defense against the shadows, or at least a way to slow them down a little bit. And wow, they're openly engaging in combat now. The shadow vessels are. Yeah. Things are heating up.
And I can't help but feel like that's a response to the White Star taking the telepaths away from them.
That could be. That could be.
Well, the cat's out of the bag now. Let's do this.
Right. One weakness of the episode, out of 100 or so Teeps that were on that ship, the one that they thawed out was Buster's significant other. Buster, excuse me. It just had to be her out of over 100 people.
Yeah. I guess what they could have done is have him go through a manifest. And then
that probably would have been better.
Like, we need to get this one awake. And then they're like, okay, they're waking her up. And then everything happens the same way. Where he wasn't there when she first woke up. He comes afterwards. They very much could have done the same thing. But like you said, minor nitpick issue.
Omni says plot convenience. Hashtag plot convenience. Excuse me.
Yeah.
JMS said, yeah, it was a coincidence. It happens. It doesn't happen much on this show, hardly ever. But have you ever thought about a person and suddenly they're calling you on the phone?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe you hadn't talked to them in a year. So,
real life history is a series of farcical coincidences.
Right.
I mean, the way World War I got started was such a comedy of coincidences. Where
you're right.
And this is something fascinating. This is a quick version because this is so fascinating. Like, funny is the wrong word. Dramatic irony might be the better word. Fascinating, definitely a great word. But the Duke who got shot, you had a couple people who were mad at him. They wanted to assassinate him. And they were planning on doing it at a very specific point. But the Duke gets lost. And they fail to be able to get the shot off in time. Or they get lost and they fail to get the shot off on time. So after this, the Duke's motorcade goes the wrong direction. They can't figure out where they're supposed to be. And they stop at a random restaurant for a sandwich. And the restaurant they go into it's a restaurant where the assassins had gone to after they had lost. They're like, well, we give up. Let's go have lunch. And because the Duke walks into this restaurant and the assassins had gone to the same restaurant, which was off course, everyone was in the wrong place. That's how they were able to shoot him. And that is what set off World War One, which is just so, like, that is, if you saw it written in a story, you'd be like, this is absurd. Really? He just happened to walk into the restaurant where the assassins just happened to be? Like, okay, maybe fix your writing. But I mean, that's history. That's, and what was in the not Civil War, the American Revolution, there was some letter that we were able, it like had all the plans of the British people. And we almost delivered the letter for the British people. Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember that story. That's fascinating, though.
I'm probably getting some details slightly out of whack here, but as I recall, the American rebellious people, our army, had captured some British courier stuff, and we thought it was just personal writings, and they almost delivered it. And then I forget who. I want to say Washington, but I'm probably way off based on who actually opened it. One of them was like, "Oh, hold on, let's read this," and it ended up having like the battle plans in it. Oh, is that what it was, Texas? Maybe I'm thinking the Confederacy. Wrapped around the cigars? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Well, he also put in there are points where the U.S. and Japanese fleets are literally right next to each other, but they don't realize it because they're looking the wrong way.
So I do accept small, like, okay, this was a coincidence. We're going to move forward. But like, if your entire thing is, well, this coincidence happens, and coincidentally that happened, and coincidentally that happened. Oh, and by the way, this person that we've never talked about them before having this hobby, coincidentally has this hobby. And not only do they have the hobby, they're also the best in the field, despite never talking about it. Then it's like, okay, we've gone a little too far.
Right.
And Josh is confirming it sounds like Lee's special order, which was found in the cigar. That's probably what I'm thinking of. That's probably I know that one much less than the World War One. Yeah, that works out. So back on subject.
We know that Bester is going to help Babylon 5 right now because he has their lover in suspension. So he's going to do whatever he can to protect the station. So they have an ally, at least for a while. There's Thomas in the chat.
Hey!
Welcome, Thomas. I thought you were boycotting us, Thomas.
Well, he showed up when we were done. So he did boycott.
Hashtag boycotting. Uh-huh. Well, you shouldn't be here at all, sir.
Hey. If you were here at the beginning, Thomas,
just a little ribbing there,
If you weren't here at the beginning, I did provide clarification on the exact nature of my bet about things. So go watch that if you weren't here.
He did. So we got a new set here, the War Room, very very flashy set. I think it's good to see that. This episode, according to Walter Koenig, it's the first time that a regular from Star Trek, an actor that's regular on Star Trek, was in the same scene as a regular from Lost in Space. We had Bill Mumy and Walter Koenig in this episode on the White Star together.
That was the first Star Trek and Lost in Space? Really?
First time that a regular from both shows were in the same scene on any film.
Huh. You would have thought it would have come up before then.
Right. And hey, we got ISN back on the air. Fair and balanced.
Yeah. I can't wait to go back and listen to all the things. So I did not hear all of what they said, but it was obvious like they were going point by point of just, oh, and this propaganda, oh, and that propaganda, oh, and this propaganda. And like they actually talked about fake news. They didn't use the words fake news, but they used another newspeak term that was literally, oh, well, you just can't, there's so much disinformation going around, and we're the only people you can actually trust.
John says, I guess this episode was before AR-558. And that is true. Because Bill Mumy was in that on DS9.
Huh. I'm going to have to go watch that. Now that I got a better chance of recognizing him, since I get to hear his voice so much as Veer.
Lanier.
Yes, Lanier.
Lanier, yeah.
Yeah, I think I would definitely recognize if Veer, all of a sudden his voice was coming out of an alien on Star Trek somewhere.
Although Bill Mumy played a human. Wasn't he a human? Or was he, I forget now. Did he play a human?
I assumed he was a human. I mean, if he was a Betazoid, close enough. But yeah. I was assuming he was not in like Klingon headgear sort of makeup.
Yeah, Omni and John both say he was a human. Human engineer, says Omni. And he got killed helping Ezri.
Oh.
Melphus also says human. I was second guessing myself after I said it.
Was AR-558 the one where Jake was having to help out the medical people?
No. This is the one that they were stuck on the planet, Cisco and the crew.
Yeah, the one where Nog got hurt.
Nog got hurt, yeah.
I thought that was... I guess I'm meshing those two episodes together.
You are, because it was just Bashir and Jake on the other one.
Okay.
Medical facility.
It's very similar kind of motif.
They are kind of similar. Yeah, they are kind of similar.
Very different stories, but just the background of we're stuck defending a position.
Right.
Anyway.
And they were fighting Klingons in that one.
Oh. Yeah. I forgot about that little twist.
Yeah. And Malphus also says the one where Nog got shot in the leg. Yes.
Yeah. Which I really appreciate the way they handled that. Not to get even more sidetracked, but I like the way that Nog...
We never get sidetracked.
Yeah, who, me? I like how he had to deal with the trauma from that experience. And, it was eventually wrapped up in a single episode. But just that they let him have that episode is often so much more than what you see. Because so much is like, you almost
being a
died.
Being a secondary character, after all. He got a whole episode to resolve that.
I guess he is just a second. Okay, so would you also count Jake as secondary?
No, because his name was in the main title sequence.
Okay. Was Quark in the main title sequence?
He was. Yeah, Armin Shimmerman was.
Fascinating. So one of the things when she was all hung up with the electronics and was talking about can't hear the machine, yada yada yada. It's an interesting. One of the laments I have about Star Trek. So it's not super on topic, but it was something I was going to talk about. I'm like, no, you know what? I got to pay more attention. We can't talk about this right now. One of the things I lament about the way they handled the Borg is that they made them increasingly less scary, less intimidating. And
I agree with that.
One of the really interesting things they could have done is how a collective wouldn't have cared about killing off thousands of its own members. The same way that our body doesn't care about killing off thousands of white blood cells. Like, oh, here's this sickness, send in the white blood cells. Okay, good. It got rid of the sickness, the infection. It doesn't matter how many white blood cells got taken out doing it.
Well, I think the thing with the Borg is it became more about the Queen
Yeah.
than the Borg collective as a whole. Although the Queen was killing off a bunch of Borg.
She was.
Unimatrix Zero.
And I think it also makes it more terrifying because then you start to see how the Borg would have seen us. Like, oh, we're not really doing violence against, like, okay, yeah, we blew up 100 ships. Who cares? You don't care if, like, you know, 1,000 cells of your body die. Your body just makes new ones. What does it matter? There's no like the pure callousness of the way that they would have been treating the rest of the galaxy would have been so much more terrifying because it would have been pure calculation. There would have been zero concern about who you are, personalities. It would have just been this force trampling over everything. And yeah, it was turned more into a neural network. And you know, Joel, more than Voyager, even TNG started to go that way. When Lore came in and kind of set himself up as their ruler. I mean, in Hugh, when Hugh was around, we really started to... And don't get me wrong, I like the Hugh episode. Having an episode where you saw a collective being an individual was a nice take on the thought experiment.
Oh, you know, I think that's why I liked the regeneration episode from Enterprise so much, because it got away from the Queen again. It was just about the Borg, and they were more like they were in like Q Who or Best of Both Worlds.
Yeah. Tom was saying who? Hugh. Which, hey, question for the chat. Any Power Ranger fans in here?
That was a little after my time to watch that kind of show.
Me too.
Okay.
In fact, I actually tried to go and watch it at one point. And the opening scene with whoever the big bad lady is in it.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Maybe something with an E. I don't know. But when she had her first introductory scene, and it was like, "At long last, after 1,000 years," I'm like, "We're done." A
little too overacting there.
It was too much. Yeah.
Thomas says Rita something.
Rita, no, Janeway is a much lower octave. That was too high pitched for Janeway. But it was too much. I said, you know what? I am not the target demographic. I'm not going to try and make this a thing. But I ask because time to take out the garbage.
He wants you to say it like Janeway.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if I could get a good Janeway voice. Give me a minute. I'll give this a shot and say. But I asked about the Power Ranger thing because the structure that the Rangers warped to all the time that had Zordon's head thing in it is the same structure from Descent with the Borg and with Lore.
Okay.
It was something that
I'll take your word for it.
It was just something that was pointed out to me this week. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is. If there is any Star Trek / Power Ranger fan, that would be such a thing. Like, oh my goodness, that's the same building. Okay, so Janeway. Yeah, I need several cups of coffee. So let me think about how Janeway's voice sounds. I don't know. It's got this gravelly smoker.
It does.
I can hear it here, but I don't think I could get it. Let's see. I can hear saying there's coffee in that there nebula. There's coffee in that there, Nebula. I don't know. That I would have to listen to her a lot more.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Before I could.
Thomas wants you to do German Janeway. We were watching Voyager with the German dub turned on.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see this. Yeah. Oh, yes. Kate Mulgrew was a serious smoker, and she definitely had. Like, next time you listen to her voice, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I can hear that bit of a smoker voice she has going on. Texas Koyoryu Sentai Zurenga.
Although, I don't hear it in Andreas Casillas' voice. And he was a chain smoker.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I gave her the rasp.
Right. That's a good description, Kay Roberts.
So anyway, I thought that was an interesting... Whenever I saw her, the psychic all wired up, it made me think of the Borg, and that made me think about how terrifying they could have been.
Well, like I said, I listened to 2 podcasts to prepare for our streams, and both podcasts mentioned that she looked like the Borg Queen when she was in all that wiring.
Mm-hmm. I'll actually say, I'll take a counter position. I don't think she looked like the Borg Queen. Like, yes, when she is coming down in First Contact, okay, she had wires over her. I don't feel like this lady was like just meshed in a pancake lattice of wires, whereas the Borg Queen was more like we're specifically holding her up. We got these pipes coming in for specific purposes. There was order. It wasn't chaos. The Queen was about order.
Yeah, I agree.
Also,
would you? Yep.
I was gonna say, I'd been talking just last week, I think, and this week maybe, about Lita. Yeah, one of my predictions. I think Lita's coming. I have to question that now. We now have Buster, who is. I still don't think he's gonna be long term. We might see him next week. I could see him being in the background and come up every once in a while. But Buster works best as a every once in a while character, and it'd be kind of like Gold Dukat was. He came up every once in a while, and you loved him for it. And the same way, Kai Wynn, she'd come up and she played the heel.
Adami.
Yes. And then, so I don't see him being it, but I wonder if his beloved might be the replacement. That she can't come back to Earth. She's made it quite clear that she's not going to go on the sleeper pills, and she's not going to join the Corps. And Bester is far too invested in the Corps and getting telepaths at the top of the humanity chain to be willing to stay on Babylon 5. So I could see him saying, okay, she's going to stay here with you. You all protect her. I'll do what I can on Earth. She stays here with you. Maybe she becomes a new telepath. I still like to think Lita's going to come and be that position, but I don't know. After I saw this lady pop up, I'm like, this might be proving my prediction wrong.
Thomas says that Lita is too busy beating Harry with a stick. Patricia Tallman was in a DS9 Voyager episode, which we just watched last night, by the way.
What Voyager episode?
What was the name of it? Bad episode, if you ask me. Yeah, it's 3rd season of Voyager, and I can't think the name of it's escaping me. Favorite Son. Thank you, John and Thomas.
Yeah.
The one where they make him think that he was from their species.
Yeah.
Great
Not
Harry
great.
episode, says Thomas. No, was not.
Not great.
As bad as Nightingale. Maybe not as bad. Almost as bad.
Nightingale wasn't the Tuvok episode, was it? Where he was playing the detective. Tom Paris was accused of murdering someone.
No, Nightingale is the one where Harry captains an alien ship on a mission.
I remember him doing that. I don't remember really much beyond that, to be honest.
And Thomas is shaking his head at you.
What? That I thought it was a weak episode? Harry Kim is... I really enjoy his character, but at the same time, him and Chakotay, they didn't know what to do with them. And whenever they had an episode that focused on them, it didn't work often. Unless they had a really strong supporting character. Like the episode where Tuvok and him fall in love with the same holographic lady. And
we watched that one recently too.
Like that was an excellent one. And I really liked the way it ended with both Harry and Tuvok being like, no, we don't want company. Like, go away.
John says, ex post facto Nightingale. The names are practically the same.
Well, in Matthew's mind, absolutely.
Maybe.
But I do love Voyager. Hey now, hey now.
Well...
Voyager did have some stinkers in it. I'll grant you that.
All the series had stinkers.
I think they had a lot of fantastic episodes.
They had some really good ones. Yeah.
Elogium was not one of them, though.
It
was not. Yeah, maybe in 60 years I'll get to that episode. I might, yeah.
Possibly. Don't hold your breath, though.
Yeah, 60 years, that's too long.
K. Roberts says, meanwhile, in the Zocalo.
Where's the Zocalo? Is it in Babylon 5?
On Babylon 5, yeah. It's like the promenade from DS9.
I was about to guess that. Yeah, meanwhile in the Zocalo, Garibaldi and Lanier are taking turns riding a motorcycle.
So what did you think of this episode?
Okay, yeah, back to the episode. I did like it. Obviously, anytime you have Bester, you're going to have a fantastic episode. I think it was Omni, but someone was pointing out how it's almost sad that Walter Koenig is known really only for Chekhov, and so many people don't realize his role here in Babylon 5.
Oh, far superior role for him. He plays it so exquisitely well.
Yeah. He really does. And they give him so many good lines. So many nice banter lines. And also...
got it in one, Mr. Garibaldi.
Yeah. And they let him act. Like, this is something I hadn't really noticed watching him in TOS all these years. Chekhov isn't given a lot of range to work with. His range is play the confused Russian. And that's kind of it. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
With a slight variation. And Thomas, I actually immediately recognized that the ice and anchor was not the same as the last one we saw.
He did notice it. He pointed it out, and I commended him for it.
So yeah, I agree. I wish Walter had been given more to work with in TOS, and the fact that they let him really show off his acting abilities is great. Which ironically, I was going to talk about how I really liked how perplexed he looked after just being like, oh, they only let him be a confused Russian on TOS. I'm going to praise him now for being the the perplexed telepath on Babylon 5. But no, he did more than that in this episode. That was just the scene that really stuck out to me. How you got to see him work through this and emote. You know, he got to do some emoting today, and I appreciate that.
He did.
The
We're getting
scene-
some depth to his character.
Yeah. The scene with Garibaldi, or not Garibaldi, excuse me. The scene with Jakar and Delenn, fantastic.
Dolores, yes.
Just wonderful. I really look forward to going back and watching it and just listening the whole time.
Yeah, that's a fabulous scene just to watch.
Yeah. The shadow spiders launching the attack at the end, really kicking things up a notch. I remember not too many episodes back, Sheridan commenting on how they are in a period of calm, that they were on the low priority before the Earth did anything against them, and we get to see that period's over. Kay Roberts is saying it's the first time Dolores tells a non-Minbari that she was on the Great Council. Oh, I missed that. See, I gotta go back and listen to all of it.
Hasn't she told Sheridan that? I'm sure she has told somebody that.
I think you're right. I guess I wasn't counting him either, Kay Roberts. Sheridan pieced it together?
Says, maybe.
Okay, so I didn't want to say it, Thomas, but I wasn't entirely certain if the last lady was white or not. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I think they're different races, but I couldn't tell. I honestly 100% could not tell if the last time we saw the news anchor lady, she was white, and this time she was black. But I was like, I think they're different races, but that is seriously how much I cannot recognize faces. Things like that just
they are.
They don't stick with me.
Thomas is asking, didn't Sinclair know? I think he pieced it together too, as his mind started filling in the hole in his mind.
We'll just have to rewatch it.
K. Roberts says, certainly after he got transferred to Minbari as an ambassador. Probably so.
What was it? One other thing we haven't talked about, but I am very curious when we'll see Sinclair again.
Will we see him again?
I'm assuming we will. And the reason I'm making an assumption that we will is in Babylon 4, the episode Babylon 4, or 4 Squared, something like that. Babylon Squared. I think that's what it was.
Babylon Squared. Mm-hmm.
I remember we either saw him, we saw him directly, and we heard Delenn's voice, as I recall.
Dolores's?
Yes. And I'm curious when we're going to see that again.
Thomas says maybe he will help the Technomages fix the White Star.
So at some point, I'm assuming we'll see him again. And we also had I think it was, he got to see Garibaldi in the middle of some war on Babylon 5. So
at the flash forward scene. Yeah.
So I'm kind of assuming that at some point we're going to catch back up with that vision. And I really hope that Sinclair pops in just for that moment. So we see it coming from our side now. So we saw it coming from Sinclair's side. He pops in, what's going on? And I really hope we get to see it coming from this direction now. And I assume at some point also we'll kind of have and it might be the finale for all I know, but I imagine we'll have this big reunion and Sinclair's coming in and doing whatever timey-wimey stuff he's up to, which I mean, we really have zero idea what's going on there. So I look forward to getting a little extra info on that one.
Joe Miller says in a million years, we'll see Ironheart.
The two-parter, Thomas. That is a question most excellent.
Now, we've talked about that before.
Yes.
And you asked, were they shown on separate weeks when they were aired? And the answer was yes, they did.
So we're gonna stick to the schedule. If they were shown as a two-part like mini event, same night. If they are split across 2 weeks, I'm gonna force myself. I'm gonna stop in the middle.
Fair enough. We've already done that. We had a two-parter in season 1. We split those up.
Oh yeah.
Voice in the Wilderness.
Is there a two-parter in every season?
No. There are only two-parters.
Oh. And we're coming up on the second one in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it is coming up.
Yeah, Thomas, so there will be 4 weeks in between? Maybe. Maybe. Knowing me.
You never know. You never know. Now, we do have some hour-and-a-half specials coming up. In fact, one early in season 4.
Ooh.
If we insert it, it was aired later, but it takes place in the timeline in early season 4. About a third of the way in.
What's your take on what makes the most sense for that placement? Like, would it really mess with the story for me to watch at that point? Or
no, I don't. It doesn't reveal anything that you shouldn't see, I don't think.
Okay.
So I think it's okay to watch it in the timeline. What gets dicey is another hour-and-a-half special. And I think we'll watch that after season 4, when it actually was aired. It aired between season 4 and 5.
So the episode title, Ship of Tears. What do you think they were going with that one?
Well, if you look at the Usenet's description, it was going after the Trail of Tears idea, where you have displaced people, and I guess you do have displaced telepaths. You know, they're not allowed to be in society. They're being chased if they don't want to be in the core or take the sleepers. They have to run. And now they're on this ship. They were frozen. They were being taken away to do the bidding of another race. Ship of Tears. So I think that was the idea.
Thomas says it was a slave ship, right? It was not. I definitely, I swung hard, but a complete miss on that guess. But I did actually mention, I do remember mentioning that I wonder if they were doing a Trail of Tears.
You did.
But
you did mention that.
I didn't go with that as my prediction, so it only counts as an interesting factoid and not actually as oh, Matthew got some of this right.
All right, maybe we give you a half a point.
Josh, I am not familiar with the trains. Are you talking? Are you talking about the? You are talking about those trains. I started to ask a question and then I answered it as I thought more about the context of the trains from the 40s in Europe. Yes, taking them to the camps. My gut says it wasn't a nod to those. Because they weren't going... I don't know. I don't think it was a nod to that. Were they taken against their will and being forced to work for someone? Actually, yes. Yes, they were. As computer components, but still, as they were.
Weapons supplies.
And Kev Roberts is saying that the Irish famine of 1845, that the famine ships were also called ships of tears.
Oh, okay. That's right. I had read that somewhere. I think from Potato Revan. From our
Perhaps it's a
fellow
nod to how
YouTubers.
much crying takes place on ships in New Trek. I don't think they're precogs, so no, probably not. Okay, so next week, Season 3, Episode 15, Interludes and Examinations.
It's quite a title.
It is. The fact that immediately following this is that two-parter episode. And I'm imagining that two-part episode is going to be a massive undertaking. I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of CGI stuff. A high-budget episode is what I'm getting at, even though it's two-parter. So I imagine that this episode of Interlude and Examinations is going to be specifically a lower-cost episode. I don't... Like, the fact they call it Interludes and Examinations almost makes me think that this is going to be a clip show, but I don't think Babylon 5 is going to go the clip show route. I don't think we're going to get a Season 2 Riker nonsense thing like TNG did. I think that instead it's just going to be a bit lower paced. I think we're going to be kind of checking in with where everyone is at now. We've had a lot of revelations going on, a lot of changes happening. Veer got himself a wife. Londo is double, triple, quadrupling down on his hatred for the Narn. It kind of seemed like at one point things were changing for him, but nope. He is sticking to his guns and refusing to back down on that. Dolores and Sheridan starting up a bit of a relationship, which we gotta see tonight. We gotta see that he was talking to her over some food, it looked like. So I think that we're gonna have a moment where everyone collectively catches their breath. Where are we right now? What's everyone's main priority as they prepare for war? And so I kind of suspect that what was the episode? There's a DS9 episode where Nog and Jake were trading, doing a fetch quest, like from Zelda. You get this, and you trade for that, and you trade for that, and you trade for that. And at the beginning of the episode, everyone is like grumpy and angry. And at the end...
In the cards.
Yeah, and in the end, everyone... It's like a breath of fresh air has come through the station, and everyone's just a little bit happier. So I imagine that's what we're going to see next week. It's going to be little vignettes about where each person is, and there's going to be some through line of, I don't know, maybe a one-off character, let's say, of them interacting with each of the different members. So it's kind of going to be like from the outside, this character is like having to report to different individuals, and they get to kind of just briefly interact with each of our main, I'm going to say pairings of people, as we see what's going on. In fact, it might make a lot of sense for it to be someone interviewing. If they're doing examinations, we did a news one, and with ISN being the only news network in town now, maybe a student doing a report. Yeah, why not? A student's doing a report examining the different people's I almost said on DS9. The different people on... Yeah, that's a prediction for you. Yeah, there's going to be a student examining the different people on DS9 next week. It's going to be examining the different main cast members of Babylon 5. And through this... So she's going to be kind of the through line between each of these stories. I say she, he, I don't know. The student. The student is going to be the through line between each of the stories. And as they question each of the main cast members, we're going to be seeing where their mind's at before the war gets going. So that's it. That's my prediction for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, another perfect prediction. Thank you, Joel.
I like John's idea for next week. He said, the Technomages come to examine the White Star to prepare for the refit. Thomas asked, now? Name another news network on B5. Well, it's interesting you asked that, Thomas, because when I was doing a little reading for tonight's stream, ISN is the only news network that is actually carried all the way out to the outer colonies and outposts like Babylon 5. It isn't that there aren't other news networks. It's just that they need the backing of somebody like a government organization to carry the signal that far out.
And yes, we've never seen anyone by ISN, Thomas, but just the way that they're wording it now makes it very clear that there were other people out there, and that this is the official only thing out there, and that all this other stuff you've been hearing, this disinformation, we're going to put an end to it. And yes, no spoilers if there was a spoiler thrown out there. I missed it, but... Or are you talking to me? Was my prediction so good it was a spoiler? Thank you. The Bakiri want to ask about your ship's extended warranties. Yeah, the White Star will be under warranty. That's why the Technomages have to show up and fix it after it's broken.
Okay.
It's manufacturer's warranty. So yeah, Jeff, any final parting words of wisdom, thoughts about the episode, thoughts about my rabbit trails?
Buster is the bester, he's just the best.
Buster is the bester.
Yeah. Great episode tonight. I'm looking forward to next week.
It was. One of these days, I'm going to have to sit down and do a speed run and try and figure out what my least favorite episode is.
Oh, okay.
Because that's going to be hard. So season 1, I get a bit of a freebie with TKO. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm saying TKO.
Bam, there it is.
I am sitting down. That's true, Thomas. I am code of honor. Yeah. No, for each season. So
okay.
Because I've really enjoyed this series, but there has to be
it's great.
An objectively worst episode per season.
As much as I rag on TKO, it is not my least favorite of season 1.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can guess. Okay, it's definitely not Midnight on the Firing Line.
No.
I doubt it's Soul Hunter.
No.
Born to Purple. That's the one with everyone doing their religious stuff, right?
That's the one that Londo's career is in jeopardy because his purple files are taken by Ira.
Is it Believers?
No.
Is Believers the one?
I thought that was pretty good, actually.
Is Believers the one with the them trying to decide whether or not to save their son?
Yep.
Okay. Signs and
Trevor
Portents.
Lawrence has that's, I love that episode. No.
No. Fantastic. I knew it wasn't that one. I don't know. What is your least favorite episode of season 1?
Infection.
Was that the wetware one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Franklin's mentor comes and the 1,000-year technology.
All right. See, I was trying to think of what episode it was. I knew that we've talked about wetware in the past. I'm going to have to look at that again because I could have sworn that they even used the phrase wetware. Maybe they didn't, but it was definitely the same idea.
Yeah, I don't remember it in that episode, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was mentioned in that episode.
Oh, great. Now I have 2 episodes to watch this week. Infections and... 3. Infections, the one from last week, and the one from this week.
Okay, 3.
Yeah. Well, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I apologize on YouTube's behalf that we had some buffering issues going on there. I'm glad it got worked out. I'm just thrilled that on my end I didn't have any buffering issues like last week.
Yes. I'm glad for that too.
Yeah.
We had that one little hiccup, but it just was a few seconds, so.
Yeah. It worked out.
Not bad. It did.
So guys, I do look forward to seeing you next week. My current plans is to be here. I know of nothing that would prevent me, so hopefully everything works out. And we get to see you again at the hour of scampering. And until then, take care.
Have a great week, all. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. And be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.